Hello, dear friends, and welcome to another episode of The Gentle Path, a space where we can sit together, take a deep breath, and explore the lessons and insights that help us navigate this remarkable journey through life. Today, I want to speak to you about something deeply personal and yet universal. How to protect what we've spent a lifetime building. You know, your wealth, your independence, your peace of mind. These are more than just numbers in a bank account. They represent freedom, dignity, and the security we've worked so hard to achieve. And yet, there are quiet risks, things that can unravel everything we've carefully put together. But here's the good news. With awareness, a little reflection, and a few small changes, we can preserve not just our assets, but also the sense of control and confidence that every one of us deserves. So let's talk today about 4 essential financial principles to embrace after 70. These aren't just rules, they're lifelines. Chapter 1: The importance of maintaining financial control. Let's start with what might be the hardest conversation: trust. Trust is at the heart of so many of our relationships, isn't it? Perhaps you've thought, "Oh, my daughter would never take advantage of me," or "my son knows what's best for me." And in most cases, that's true. But trust, while beautiful, is not the same as giving away control of your financial life. Here's where things can get tricky. Handing over joint access to your bank account, signing a sweeping power of attorney, or co-signing on financial responsibilities can sometimes lead to unintended consequences. Even the best-intentioned loved ones, the ones we cherish most, can make mistakes. Life is complex, and pressures you might not see could influence their decisions. I'll share the story of Gerald, an 82-year-old who added his nephew to his bank account so he could get a little help paying bills online. At first, this arrangement worked, but over time the nephew began treating the account as his own. Withdrawals piled up, small at first, but eventually totaling thousands. Gerald didn't notice until his savings had dwindled. And because the account was joint, the bank told him there was no legal recourse. Friends, protecting your financial control is not about mistrusting your loved ones. It's about boundaries. Dr. Karen Emerson, an expert in geriatric psychology, once said, "Clear boundaries in later life are a form of self-care, and they protect the relationships that matter most. A limited power of attorney with well-defined terms, a revocable trust, or monitored accounts can ensure you get the help you need while safeguarding your independence." 2. Eliminating the quiet drain of recurring expenses. Now let's talk about something equally sneaky. Those small, invisible expenses that quietly chip away at your nest egg. Think about subscriptions, memberships, or insurance premiums that may have made sense years ago, but no longer serve your life today. Have you ever been surprised by a bill and thought, "What in the world is this for?" Oftentimes, we let these charges slide. It takes effort to cancel, doesn't it? Much easier to brush it off and say, "Oh well." But those small monthly charges combined can cost thousands each year. Sandra, a lovely woman I once spoke to, learned this lesson the hard way. At 76, she had a modest but comfortable life. One day, her daughter reviewed her finances and discovered Sandra was paying for things like 3 overlapping identity protection services and a gym membership she hadn't used in over 2 years. All told, she was spending nearly $3,000 a year on things that added no value to her life. It was an emotional moment for Sandra. She felt embarrassed. But her daughter reminded her, taking control isn't about shame, it's about empowerment. By canceling those old expenses, Sandra freed up money for healthier groceries, home repairs, and, most importantly, small joys, like a special lunch out with her granddaughter. So please, take a long, hard look at what you're paying for. Subscriptions, premiums, auto renewals. If you're not using it, cancel it. And if it feels like too much to tackle alone, ask a friend or family member to help, or use free online services designed for this very purpose. Every dollar saved is a dollar invested in your well-being. 3. Finding freedom through diversified income streams. Have you ever heard the saying, "Don't put all your eggs in one basket"? After 70, this takes on a special meaning, especially when it comes to income. Relying solely on Social Security or a pension can feel like walking a tightrope without a net. Even a small disruption, a delayed check, rising costs, a medical expense, can be terrifying if there's no backup. Take Frank, a retired school teacher in his 70s. For years, his pension and Social Security were enough. But then inflation and unexpected medical bills created a gap. Rather than panic, Frank got creative. He rented out a small portion of his garage to a local artist, and he converted a chunk of his savings into a modest annuity that provided predictable monthly income. These weren't drastic changes, but they gave Frank the breathing room he needed to rest easy. Diversifying your income doesn't mean complex stock market investments or going back to full-time work. It could be as simple as teaching a class, selling handmade crafts, or even renting out unused rooms or storage spaces. The AARP offers advice on safe and practical ways to achieve this. Remember, even an extra $200 per month can mean the difference between having to cut back and enjoying life's small comforts. 4. Updating your estate plans. Finally, my friends, let's talk about something we often avoid: estate planning. Many people set up a will or trust years ago and think, one and done, not my problem anymore. But estate plans are living documents, and life has a way of changing around them. A will that made sense 20 years ago might not serve your family today. Harold, an 81-year-old retired engineer, learned this the hard way. He had a will drawn up in his 60s, naming his brother as the executor and an ex-girlfriend as the beneficiary of a life insurance policy he'd forgotten. Decades later, his brother had passed. The ex-girlfriend was long gone, and his family was left untangling surprises that caused unnecessary heartache. Outdated paperwork can lead to confusion, costly disputes, and unintended consequences. Did you know beneficiary designations on accounts like life insurance actually override instructions in your will? That's why it's crucial to regularly review all documents, wills, trusts, retirement accounts, and insurance policies to ensure everything reflects your current wishes. Sit down with an estate attorney or trusted financial advisor to keep things updated. And while you're at it, don't forget to involve your loved ones in the conversation. Clear communication now can spare them guesswork and conflict later. This isn't just practical, it's a gift of love. Closing reflections. So, my friends, which of these 4 principles resonates most with you? Is it keeping financial control, eliminating wasteful expenses, diversifying your income, or revisiting your estate plans? Remember, none of this is about fear. It's about freedom. Each small step you take today preserves the bright, independent future you've earned. I'll leave you with this thought. Aging is a journey, and growing older doesn't mean giving up control. In fact, it's the opposite. You have the power to shape your future, and to do so with wisdom, grace, and strength. Take care of yourselves and those you love. And as always, I'd love to hear how you're applying these insights in your own life. Until next time, here on The Gentle Path, be well and keep walking gently forward.